Hi, my name is Emily Rice.
And I'm Caroline Tucker.
We are both editors for The Lance.
Today we're going to be talking about the new movie, It Ends With Us. Before we continue, there are going to be some spoilers in this podcast, so beware.
We are going to be sharing our opinions about the movie. This movie surrounds the main character, Lily Bloom. She had a dream of opening her own flower shop. She soon meets Ryle Kincaid, who she has an intense connection with.
The movie is based around Ryle becoming abusive towards Lily. This causes the movie to go back and forth to her past as a teenager and struggling with her abusive father. Alright, now that we've given background, it's time to get in and give our honest review and opinions.
Okay, so what was your opinion about the beginning? Did you think it going back and forth between the past and the present was a good idea, or what did you feel about it?
The past and present thing, it was kind of like we were kind of confused what was happening because it happened so fast and it was like at kind of like random points.
I agree. It's like I didn't really know what was going on for most of the movie because it kept switching back and forth between the present and if she was a teenager, and I was lost for a majority of the movie.
All right, let's talk about Ryle.
At the beginning, I already knew like the background of the movie, but I think I automatically saw things wrong with him and how he acted. Maybe she didn't see that as her character, but I just thought automatically that he had something off about him, and I felt like something was going to go wrong eventually. What about you?
I definitely think that he wanted to be a good guy because you can see his emotion at the end, and we'll get to that. I just think that he is wired differently in his brain, and he just snaps and has no control over his emotions.
According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, there are multiple common signs in abusive behavior in a relationship. A few include insulting, demeaning, or shaming you in front of other people, preventing you from making your own decisions, showing extreme jealousy, pressuring you to do sexual acts that you're not comfortable with, intimidating you through looks and actions, and destroying your belongings at home. These are just a few signs of what domestic abuse can look like before it actually starts. What signs do you think Ryle showed in the movie before he started abusing Lily?
Okay, so the signs that I think that kind of showed that he was going to have that behavior is starting off the bat, before they were dating, he was very persistent. He showed up to all her workplaces, and he was very possessive over her.
I agree, because when Ryle first saw Lily and Atlas together, he got really jealous very fast, even though they had a very long history of what their relationship was like, and they were just kind of greeting each other in a friendly way. It wasn't anything romantic, and he got really jealous immediately.
You could tell he had anger issues and problems before they were even involved together, because when they first met on the rooftop, he threw the chair, and in future reference, when they were in a relationship, he would throw things out of anger. He wouldn't touch her yet, but he would throw anything in sight, throw a glass, until the point that the oven where he was trying to get something out that he baked, he grabbed it bare hands and dropped it because it was so hot, and flung it to her, which caused him to accidentally hit her to the ground. And that was his first hit, and that was probably after a year of them dating because it went through every season. Well, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, so after the first incident, I feel like he seemed like he really cared that he hurt her on accident, but I feel like deep down, it kind of opened a door for him to kind of start doing whatever he wanted. I feel like he kind of enjoyed hitting her in a way. Since it was an accident, he might not have taken it as an accident, but she was telling everyone that it was an accident, and when Atlas saw her bruise in the restaurant, that's when stuff really got bad, because he pulled her aside and asked what happened and told her to leave him and everything. And Ryle found them talking, and they literally beat each other up in his restaurant, which is so bad for Lily because they have such a good past together, and I just think he made everything worse within their relationship. Stepping away from their relationship for a minute, when Lily opened her first flower shop and Alyssa came in and wanted to work with her and they became friends, what is your opinion on that whole situation?
Alyssa herself, I mean, she proved to be a really good best friend, and she helped her because the shop wasn't even open yet. Alyssa just came in asking if she was looking for anyone, and they literally everything together and worked on it and made it an exceptional flower shop that was ranked as the top 10. So Alyssa knew that Ryle was taking interest in Lily because he would show up at the work. Alyssa worked there, and he would kind of like make sure he was always there. One day, Alyssa came in to bring Ryle coffee one morning and was shocked to see that Lily spent the night and was over there. And she kind of like blew up in like a friendly manner to warn her that, in quote, Ryle goes through women like candy and he isn't anyone to rely on.
Which we soon find out that Alyssa and Ryle are actually brother and sister, which was very shocking to the plot, to be honest, because I wasn't really expecting that at all. The casting was really good because they do kind of look like they would be siblings, but I obviously, like, it didn't cross my mind like it would be an option for that, so that was really shocking to me. One thing I noticed while their relationship was still new and like they weren't officially together yet is Lily and Atlas have a lot of a past together. Right. They bonded a lot as teenagers, and it was like a first love type thing that neither partners forget about once they grow older. I just thought it was weird that while Ryle and Lily were having romantic like moments in the movie, it would go to a flashback of Atlas and Lily. So honestly, I feel like that was trying to foreshadow that Lily was thinking about Atlas while she was with Ryle. I honestly just think it's a really odd part of the movie because it's obvious that she's still in love with Atlas, but she like doesn't go for him. I wish it showed them at the end like actually being together, but it kind of just cut us off.
So Lily kind of like imagined herself as Atlas.
Atlas giving Lily his number was like the first step of the actual abuse before it started. Not from Atlas, but because of how mad Ryle got because of it. For those who haven't seen it that are just listening, she gets his number and doesn't actually use it, but keeps it in the back of her phone case. And Ryle drops her phone on accident, and the number falls out, and he finds it. This enrages him so much that they start arguing. He's throwing things, he's yelling at her, and this leads to the first official abuse where he pushes her down the stairs and she ends up with a concussion. When she wakes up, she doesn't really remember much, but Ryle convinces her that it was a complete accident and he actually tried to catch her from falling down the stairs, which is not what is shown in the movie. What is your opinion on how this was laid out, and do you think this was like the final thing that caused him to snap?
Honestly, I think that production wise, again, like I think it was messy, just like the flashbacks, because it went through the relationship like this season, so it went really quick and fast. And it was just kind of, I felt like it was like a speed run of the entire movie. And when he pushed her down the stairs, they were married, which kind of made it harder for Lily to like understand and leave and like be like, okay, wait, my husband is really abusive. And it just puts her in like a hard situation. And then she becomes pregnant. After the stairs and after the hospital, she did run to Atlas and basically was just kind of like, you're right, like I need to get out of there. He kind of looked after her and told her if she ever needed anything, give him a call. And she told Alyssa, which was hard. That's when Lily discovers from Alyssa that Alyssa and Ryle had a sibling. And when Ryle was playing with him when he was 7 years old, they were playing like cowboys. And he thought that the fake gun was fake, but it was actually real. And he shot him in the head.
His childhood and that incident with his brother has a lot to do with how he acts as an adult and his decision making as an adult. Everything you're conditioned with as a child kind of sticks with you your whole life. And I think that early beginning of him already seeing violence and watching his own brother die really kind of set the road for him to eventually become abusive. And maybe others think differently, but I feel like that was definitely the start of the way his mind works. Do you think that the timeline of her leaving Ryle was accurate to real life situations of domestic abuse? It's obviously harder than people think to leave in a relationship like that, and I'm not sure if I consider it accurate that he would be in the delivery room if she was scared of him and like worried about her baby's safety. So what do you think?
I think it honestly depends the cases of domestic abuse. Some cases, they never leave. They're actually too scared to. They believed that if they left, no matter who they had to help them, they would get hunted down. A lot of cases, if you're in domestic abuse, it's sometimes because you were abused as a child. You find yourself in the same pattern, and I think that it comes to like you get so hurt that you're on like a near death experience and you could have died, and that's like your red flag and like your human instinct to know that you need to get out of there.
We forgot to mention previously that it shows in the flashbacks how her father was abusive to her mother and her as a child. So I think this also leads to how she handles the situation later down the road and how she was able to leave. She didn't exactly see the red flags before he actually started to be abusive, but I think her father acting that way towards her mom gave her an idea of what to look for.
I think the movie was good. Personally, I sort of feel the setup was like messy and hard to follow along with. Was like all the flashbacks. The best part of the movie for me was like Lily and Alyssa's friendship, honestly.
I agree. I liked the movie as a whole, but it was confusing to follow and it was just kind of messy in general. But I think it was a good story and I think it created enough awareness about the situation.
To conclude this podcast, we want to bring awareness to the abuse hotline number, 800-799-7233. If you see or experience abuse, please contact this number.
Thank you for watching our Lancer Media podcast. Once again, I'm Emily Rice.
And I'm Caroline Tucker.
Thank you.